day in club football in Europe. Ekpo Temple is my name, and I have Victor Charles Abiye joining me live to give you one of the best shows you can ever think of, especially as we prepare for a bright and heat golfing season from the English Premier League and other top leagues in Europe. Victor, welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I'm wondering why you're laughing already.
The whole transfer saga this is one of the best transfer windows I've ever seen. Remember, there's a paradigm shift in the whole transfer system. The window closes 12 midnight, and during the Wenger days, the Fergie days, we used to see heavy downpour for managers going for players at about 11:45 p.m. That's about 20-25 minutes to the top of the hour before the close. But there's a paradigm shift now. UEFA just taking a twist, another twist.
But what could be the response for that? I know that they have they had an initial. Could that be the reason? An initial transfer prior to this, after this scene?
Maybe. Remember, due to the FIFA Club World Cup in June, July, there was a 10-day period. FIFA had to tell member confederations that, see, because of the Club World Cup, that will comprise of teams within the continent to go and participate for glory, we want to open the transfer window for a 10-day period. And we saw some of the top teams in Europe and other parts of the world trying to do their business at that period. We saw Chelsea getting the likes of João Pedro and this young lad from Dortmund. Delap as well, and the other Gittins from Dortmund as well. So it was a busy 10-day period, but so many teams did not get the dotting of the I's and the crosses of their T's from various players because that 10-day period was very short. So they had to wait for July 1st to start doing their business. And maybe UEFA might say, okay, FIFA has given you guys 10-day break. So there's no need for extending the window till the usual period. But when to find out if it will remain at the end of this season, maybe by next summer, if there's no paradigm shift, and it still remains that maybe it's a U-turn and a new era in the transfer window.
Right. I mean, it's interesting because, like you said, this is one of the most heated because some people just woke up to see that the transfer season is ending today, and I'm thinking that usually when some clubs wait for that dying period because they know that some players are also eager to move. Throughout this period, I've seen some trouble. Ademola Lookman, escaped training because he wanted to pull a transfer. Isak escaped training and finally pulled a transfer. Victor Gyökeres escaped training and told the club he needs to. We saw that
players are doing
and they did it, and
I remember
it worked for them.
It worked for them, yeah. Certain Harry Maguire in 2019 broke a world record fee for
from Leicester City.
From Leicester City to United, £80 million, and I could remember Maguire had to go on strike, avoid training for 2 weeks because he wanted to make that move to United, and it paid off. We saw Gyökeres even threatened the chairman of Sporting CP that, see, if I don't come out here, you go get serious problem. It was that massive. Even Declan Rice had to, at some point, boycott training for West Ham after winning the Conference League for West Ham. I said, see, I want to move to Arsenal. So I think it was only few players that keep their cool and still had their move. The likes of Ebrahim Chelsea, he wanted to move. He made it clear to Crystal Palace, I'm not going to stay to play in the Conference League. Remember, they were supposed to play in the Europa League, but they lost in the court hearing in CAS, and they were demoted to the Conference League, the third tier of European football. So I felt like most clubs too are not helping matters because you can't tie a player down.
Okay.
We understand there are contract terms and conditions in the contract, but that's why we have buyout clause.
Yeah.
If I signed for Temple FC for 3 years and I've played 1 season, and Chelsea comes for me and offer me what I earn from Temple FC. It's now left for me to
make a choice.
Make my choice and say, okay, Temple FC, I want 50 million rather than the 20 million, and Chelsea are offering me 100 million.
Yeah.
Can you give me 50? I'm going to stay. Or I want 100, or I move to Chelsea. But these days, we don't see that bargain again. It's the other way around. Club tried to tie down players and impede that contract. That's why you see most clubs now are wise to say, okay, we want to sell our player. We have to not just the buyer clause, in as much as you're bringing the buyer clause to buy the player out, to pay on top of the contract that is remaining, will also allow you to include buyback clause.
Yes.
So that if the player improves and develops and keep that consistency and that momentum that you saw that made you come to sign him, we can also go back to such players. So,
I get it.
But most clubs tend to forget that buyback clause. They just let players go. I'm very disappointed in Newcastle. I would have said, okay, Isak is young. He's just 24. He has a long way to go. And he's at his prime now. He's at his peak. Imagine, what stopped Newcastle from saying, we're going to sell him to you. If he still keeps this consistency in the 3.5 seasons, you're coming for him. Or 4 seasons, whatever. We want a buyback clause for Isak. We need him back. We see players do it.
Okay, now that you just mentioned Isak, now I think that this is one of the most tensioned, football transfer because we've waited for it. Right from this end of the season, Liverpool made their intentions known that they want to get Isak. Unfortunately, if you look at the way the transfer went, some person felt that Newcastle United, they are unwilling because Isak still have underlying contract terms.
3 years
in the club, yes. So with that now, they have every right to say, we're going to keep you no matter what. But somehow you cannot keep an angry player. All right, so this morning, finally, Liverpool paid 125 million pounds plus 5 million add-ons to get him. With all of this now, I'm just thinking, Liverpool now have increased their payment now to about 290 million pounds. And if you talk about Arsenal, 1 and something, look at the total bill as at this morning, 1.2 billion pounds has been expended by Premier League clubs, for players.
So much transfer.
And I'm asking myself, Isak, Ekitike, Weeds, Mo Salah, and Gakpo. Usually when you sign, this is the first time we are seeing that combination of signing 2-fledged attackers, number 9, who can anchor number 9, by the same manager. What is in the heart of Arne Slot? Getting to bring in Isak to beef up the squad that he already has. What do you think it's all about, and where will he play?
I think he's trying to go back. Let me take you back to the club era. Remember, the club produced one bit of magic during the 9-year stay he stayed at Liverpool, and that's what Arne Slot is coming to enjoy. He came to inherit what has already foundations that have been laid already. So take your mind back. There was a Mo Salah, there was a Sadio Mane, there was Coutinho, and there was Roberto Firmino. Fantastic Four. There was a name Liverpool fans gave them as at that time, Fantastic Four. And he still went on to sign Divock Origi, who came on to also spice up the Liverpool Fantastic Four as at that time. Now, that's the same thing Arne Slot is trying to do. Remember, he's into 4 competitions. The Premier League is going for a defense of the Premier League title he won last season. He's also competing in the Champions League. He's also competing in the Carabao Cup as well as the FA Cup. So a lot of competitions and a lot of players are going to fight for places. There's nobody in this Liverpool team that has a permanent starting 11 as it stands now. So I feel he's something that Arne Slot is trying to do. He wants to ensure that he has everybody on their toes, because he don't perform, you sit on the bench because so many players are ready. Don't forget, he also brought in Jeremy Frimpong, who did fantastically well but was injured in the Community Shield against Crystal Palace, and he was out. He didn't play against Arsenal yesterday. We saw Szoboszlai going into deputized at that right back position. So I think it's something that this man has done very well. And the question is, how is he going to play the front three? Is he going to go with Gakpo? Don't forget, Gakpo is an out-and-out striker who can also drift to the flanks. This past few, because of the introduction of Ekitike, he's now been pushed to the flanks to play from the left. We saw yesterday it was Gakpo, Salah the right, Ekitike through the middle. So what are we going to see now? I think it's going to be one of the two of them is going to sacrifice the starting lineup, and all the choice is going to be made from Anslot. Who starts? Is it going to start an Isak or Ekitike? Don't forget, Ekitike has scored in his 3 games so far outside yesterday's game. So Isak proving goal record for Newcastle, 20 plus goals in the last 3 campaigns for Newcastle since leaving Real Sociedad to the Premier League. So, and last season, 30 goals in all competition. So, bros, guy don't prove himself. He go tell Liverpool, say I no call Liverpool, and Slot, I no call here to consider.
But the thing is that if you look at the way Liverpool is structured, before the era of club, we saw Liverpool playing a 4-2-2 formation. 4-4-2 formation. Maybe in the mind of Anslot, we're going to go back to that era, but with a little rejigging. Maybe get to play a 4-2-3-1 formation.
It's going to.
That means
it's going to obstruct the flow. Remember, Liverpool is an high-pressing team.
Yeah.
They play direct football. They don't romance the ball like Arsenal, like Barcelona or Pep Guardiola City that holds on to the ball. It reminds me of the Liverpool in the 80s, early 2000s, and the United team in the Fergie era. These are teams that press you on a high from the flanks through the forwards, and they hit you mercilessly without messing. So I don't think it's going to work that way. But if he goes on to play the magical 4-3-3 formation we saw on that club that worked for him last season, definitely with the addition of Isak, Ekitike not injured, getting his goals ratio, Gakpo scoring as well, Mo Salah getting 1 or 2 goals, and everybody in the midfield as well from the defense, everybody gets their own quarter of the goals. Therefore, then
congratulations to Liverpool, because as it stands now, they're still my favourites to win the Premier League.
Okay, so invariably you have given them a nod with purchase. Okay, I mean, talking about purchase, they've also we hear that they might also conclude a deal to sign Magui, the captain of Crystal Palace, and that means that if the guy comes in now, that will be another addition, to Liverpool. I'm asking, Liverpool have some challenge in the defensive framework. Magui moving forward about £30-something million. Will be a perfect man to help a blend with Virgil van Dijk in the defense. I
don't think Liverpool has defensive issues. Their defense is solid. Yesterday, there was a little knock for Ibrahim Konate, who got that knock, and he was substituted off, and we saw Joe Gomez coming in to replace him. There's a Gomez, there is Van Dijk, there is what they call him, Konate 3, and there's also one defender from the youth team that Anslot had just promoted into the first team. So I don't think, but yeah, anyways, if he brings Gueye in, it's an additional plus to the team to strengthen that defense line, so that he knows that, yes, bros, we need a player who lock everywhere. He cannot just fortify the front and allow the back door open. So I think he's just trying to do what is good for the goods is also good for the gander. Cover the back, cover the front.
Now for Crystal Palace themselves, they sold a British in a hijack D from Tottenham to Arsenal. Now they have sold a certain one of their mainstay defender, Gueye, if he gets to go finally. And then they are also thinking of selling, I think, one other player, to also. So they have sold like 3 of their best players this season, and that makes me think that if you're selling those players, you need to also recoup back and you're going to play in the Europa Conference League, and come on, for crying out loud, you need the best of the legs to prosecute some of these games, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was thinking last season, letting Michael Olise go to Bayern. And I asked myself, what was his replacement? Impressive. They had to go to Watford to get Ismaila Sarr, the Senegalese international, to come and replace Michael Olise. Very good deal. And Sarr has been prolific last season alongside Eberechi Eze. Now, you let Eze go. Who is his replacement? I waited until Christantus Uche, the Nigerian international from Getafe, coming to replace Eberechi Eze. But Eberechi Eze is an attacking midfielder who can play from the flanks and through the middle as a false nine. But Christantus is an out-and-out striker. So for me, I don't think they have gotten Eze's replacement yet. Except Christantus Uche is going to do a lot. Can say, okay, I'm going to wear the shoes of Eberechi Eze. I'm going to dig deep, drop deep. We saw Harry Kane do it for Tottenham at some stage. We saw Wayne do it for United when Sam brought in Van Persie and said, oh boy, you go come deep. Oh. You know, except he's going to sacrifice that sacrifice. But if he's not ready and say, oh, I'm an out-and-out striker, I play anywhere in the front, I can't come deep. You need to get another attacking midfielder. Then Crystal Palace needs to do another business. And I know they should have a plan B, A, B, and C. So we're just less than a few minutes away from the closure of the 2025-26 transfers window, summer transfer window. And I can't just wait to see who goes in, who comes in, and who stays.
We heard that Guhi has reported the camp of Liverpool for a medical. That means the deal has been
sealed, done and dusted.
£35 million. You know,
done and dusted.
Done and dusted. So
who is his replacement now for Crystal Palace? That's another big
question. Together. So for Crystal Palace, they also need to know that they need to also in. Same thing for Newcastle. Newcastle have signed in, Yanni Wissa, from Brentford as a replacement for Isak, who has been signed this morning. So
and for Brentford to this season, it's been a big blow to them. They lost Kenkes to Bournemouth for Kenkes coming from Bournemouth. They lost in Bremo to United. They lost Whistle to Newcastle. Two of their best forward players who has been massive. They lost their manager Thomas Frank to Tottenham. So I think that Brentford team is dilapidated, if you ask me. And if they're not careful, I think they might just find themselves in the championship.